Oliveira, your days are numbered. As on a platform on YouTube, as itself, there are legitimately some people that, despite all of their hard work, do need to be pushed back a bit and, have some of the respect stripped off them. Because, they can't be trusted to do anything good with it. For example, the job of a journalist, especially now, is very important. You could literally create new narratives that impact the way people perceive things and change the way they act. But they could also go both ways. If you're a good journalist that actually cares about, getting the truth out there, you would help the situation you're reporting on. But if you're a bad journalist, then you just make it worse and add fuel to the fire. A fire that would keep the journalist nice and warm. And I think that's probably my favorite way to describe Oliveira. Because although he does, pretend he's a journalist that deserves, get attention for the gripping stories he covers, he fucks it up a lot. And I've been covering before my channel the video he does, like the George Floyd video, where it was hard to ignore the bias he had and how badly he wanted to make a piece that would change the tides of the story of this black guy who probably didn't get murdered. But despite all of that, I'd be lying if I said he wasn't successful, with millions of views, to the point that people don't care about the bias he hides in his videos. But finally, we have a video that could change that, coming from Vince Vintage, a pretty well-respected YouTuber who looked into the content of Tyler and pointed out why he shouldn't be trusted. Like at all. One of the best things Vince points out is the way that Tyler intentionally tries to paint or create a really bad environment, just to make it look more interesting for the viewer. Like for example, he pointed out in his video where he proves how common car theft is in Oakland. Tyler tried to bait someone to steal his Kia car, by putting a PS5 with a controller on the fucking dashboard. And he never disclosed that it was his car, because he wants to get an honest story out there, that's it. And Vince even showed, later in the video, his plate number of Tyler's, and Tyler's parking ticket was the same one as a Kia he had there right in the trap. This was the funniest sample shot, in my opinion, of how ruthless Tyler is at, creating a false narrative, because the actual reality on camera, just, it's not just liking, it's not interesting. Another example pointed out was in his Jamaican video, subtly titled, "The Murder Capital of the World." He makes his tour guide seem like a downright scammer that walked away after getting his money and just left him abandoned. Except he really didn't.
While my guide was nowhere in sight, I first thought I was setting myself up to get robbed.
Is this where you make the juice?
So I'm thinking, oh my god, Tyler's gonna get murdered. Tyler's in the murder capital of the world without his guide. Oh, okay. That's Tyler's cameraman. That's clearly the same thing going on. Where's this camera angle from? Oh, it's almost like his guide was right there and took this footage, but Tyler had to sell it off, is that his guide was nowhere to be seen and that Tyler was gonna get murdered.
Also, you got this hilarious fucking anecdote that you have to see.
Out of nowhere, two armed muggers came over to rob me and my cameraman and barely spared us only after recognizing Jamaica walk by as he yelled, "Bumbleclat" in the distance. They told us to turn the cameras off, and instead of robbing us, they agreed to be interviewed if we brought them some cash.
So two guys that robbed you at knife point let you get in your car to go drive to the ATM while they stayed there, and then you come back with about $150 and then convince them to do an interview on camera, when you're holding a $3,000 camera that you're filming all of this with.
So in the big picture, he writes his own events for this, down-to-earth, realistic story he's covering. But even on smaller, pettier parts, he just doesn't give a shit. Like for example, if he's covering, the most dangerous state in America, like he has 400 times, he will use clips of shootings or car robberies from other places, like out of context.
All the crime down here is just like petty theft, breaking into cars.
While this guy's talking about petty theft, Tyler then shows this clip. But once again, this clip isn't from Chicago. It's from Houston, Texas, 4 years ago. I can do this all day long.
Because when you actually look into it, the places he goes to don't really have that bad of a track record. I mean, yeah, they might be bad and not that safe, but definitely nothing like the Mad Max world he creates with these clips and thumbnails on display, which I'll get into just a second. The last example I'll bring up that Vince makes a really good point on, with how Tyler, sneakily plants a message in his videos, is the Haitians eating cats one, which, my god, this video was bad. Even then, even now, after it was dissected by Vince. Okay, so this idea in general is fucking insane. Of course it was bound to get views, and Tyler acted like, in that video, he was unbiased, and he was showing the hysteria of the time, around that place, not wanting to peddle the rumor at all. But Vince proves how, when he's questioning people, he would ask them loaded questions that just clear as daylight, make it seem like the rumors have been substantially proven.
Interesting that in Springfield, the whole they're eating the cats, they're eating the dogs is not a conversation point here, nor have I brought that up due to YouTube censorship. And also, I understand that at the end of the day, and even at the core of that video, that's not what it's about. Haitians are eating cats. Are these Haitians eating cats? Haitians are taking neighbors' cats and eating. The Haitians are eating the neighbors' cats. Are they eating cats? Haitians are kidnapping the neighbors' cats and eating them.
Again, no cat eating.
Cats are getting kidnapped? Is that true?
Yes.
Well, I've seen a video of a guy getting a Canadian goose, a Haitian dude.
We've lost a whole bunch of cats. There was a van pulled over that had over 100 cats in it with the Haitians. They said they was eating them.
Actually?
My favorite part is that he does it to white people, but then when he gets to the black people, he's like, other people, not me, have been saying, you eat cats. How do you feel about that? And also some more parts where he lies about the proof. Like that video of the American woman, eating the cat, and that driver cleaning up the roadkill, trying to paint them as well as one of those cuckoo, wacky, crazy Haitians. Okay, so it's been proven why Tyler shouldn't be trusted as a journalist with his massive bias and just fucking misusing proof to show something else. But I think there are some parts where Vince, the guy himself, sort of struggled to get his point across, or where he did quite a massive leap of an assumption. For one, there's a part in Tyler's video covering the abundance of Muslims in Sweden where he reads the headline, "Is a kebab stand in every corner worth sacrificing a country's culture?" And Vince interprets that and ties connection to the reference of a slogan, "Remove kebab," coined by the Bosnian military where they murdered 7,500 Muslims, who was then used by the 2019 New Zealand shooter that shot 50 Muslims in a mosque.
Tyler, that is a straight up dog whistle. Calling people, is it worth the kebab stand?
Okay, I'm gonna be honest, this was the part where I was like, you're holding your case. Some people might find that offensive, like stereotyping a group of people by one piece of food, but I definitely think that's miles away from using a dog whistle phrase as a joking way to dehumanize people. Especially when the thing itself, kebab, is a pretty well-known thing and much bigger than the phrase that I feel like most people didn't know about before. Later, he calls out Tyler as a racist 4chan user simply because he joked about hearing a beeping smoke alarm in a majorly black apartment complex.
It's been broken multiple times. You can hear the fire alarm that hasn't been changed. That's a meme.
Well, Tyler, where is that meme from? Oh, it's from 4chan, right here. New dog whistle just dropped. It also is a reference to memes like this. Wow.
Okay, again, that's a pretty huge leap. But I've seen that before on places like TikTok. So you can't just definitely say, Tyler got it from joking, with his white supremacist friends on 4chan. And also, I do think the beeping smoke alarm meme is pretty funny, I'm gonna be honest. Vince did say in the video that he doesn't want to call Tyler a racist, but it's stuff like that we know it's so heavily implied that it's impossible to ignore. There were parts where he proved, how Tyler misconstrued a racist KKK shop with that on its shelves as a nice little, innocent memorabilia shop where he bought a couple of things. So that part, yeah, he did prove how Tyler tried to hide some racist parts, but I'd be lying if I say, everything in this video was an immediate sell. But yeah, overall, I think right here, with the research done and proving how much of a false narrative Tyler creates, he's been shown how untrustworthy he is as a journalist. And honestly, I'm glad. Because I remember making a tweet recently about this, because he made his 50th video about, a crack at Capitol, making it seem like every single person on the sidewalk was high off their mind, just nodding off. And also, I'm surprised that not many people saw his right-wing agenda, or at least, how he tries to make fun of the libtards, especially with his loaded questions. I remember in his George Floyd video, he's talking to this nice old woman being like, "Oh, I'm so glad the community could come together to commemorate this poor soul." And Tyler, mind rapes her with his bizarre question, "Oh, what? So you think it's appropriate to, idolize a drug dealer who fucking robbed a pregnant woman?" And then, makes fun of her as she walks away. Yeah, so would I. And again, his thumbnails suck ass. They're clearly cut from the same cloth of, prank videos from 5 years ago, where a soy face is done. But I think when you're promoting, how much of a hard-working journalist you are, trying to get the truth out there, you look like a fucking dib. When you make an environment or a group of people, you look like a bizarre caricature of reality in the thumbnail. The first visual part a viewer will definitely see. Because, for the views, I mean, my God, the views. Mamma mia, pizzeria. That is a retardía. Now, Vince did say he doesn't wish any ill intent on Tyler, like having his channel taken down, but it should be made clear the nature of his content. But I think that's fair, which is why I wanted to make the video in the first place. Because although I've always known he was the worst person to go to when it comes to getting a story, I'm actually shocked at all the bad shit that was picked up on in this video, and it just has been made clear now. So again, harassment isn't being condoned here today, but I will happily promote the idea that this guy, this channel, this journalist, raking in millions of views, shouldn't be trusted at all. I think in the coming days, or in 2025, that sentiment will grow bigger, which I'm so glad for. Honestly, 100% honestly, I'm happy for that.